In the heart of Iran, beneath layers of earth and rock, lies an underground facility known as Fordow. It's here where Iran has been developing nuclear weapons since 2006. If you're not familiar with what's going on in Fordow, then let me tell you, this place is like Area 51 on steroids. It's so top secret that even Google Maps doesn't know it exists. And the only way you can get in is if you have special clearance or are a spy. But don't worry, because today we were going to take an exclusive tour of this hidden facility and expose all its secrets. You know those pesky little missiles that can penetrate solid concrete bunkers and destroy anything inside? Well, they're called bunker busters, and they've been used in Korea and Vietnam. But it wasn't until World War II that the term bunker buster really started to be used. Now, these bad boys come into varieties, the guided and the unguided. Unguided bunker busting bombs work just like your standard explosive, but they're heavier and tougher. They're designed to blast through concrete bunkers and other structures and cause maximum damage. Guided bunker-busting bombs, on the other hand, are a bit more high-tech. These missiles have a guidance system that helps them navigate through smoke and explosions before hitting their target with pinpoint accuracy. Now, both types of bunker-busting bombs have been used in recent conflicts like Afghanistan and Iraq. Now, it's important to note that bunker busters are not just used against bunkers. They can also be used to destroy buildings and other structures made out of concrete. Plus, they're great at reaching targets that are deep underground. In fact, during Operation Iraqi Freedom, U.S. Air Force F-15E Strike Eagles equipped with bunker-busting bombs destroyed 2 of Saddam Hussein's Republican Guard divisions in underground bunkers near Baghdad. But it's not always smooth sailing for these pilots. Sometimes they encounter enemy fighters or air defenses and have to dodge incoming missiles while delivering their payload. But that's all part of the job. Now, bunker busting is a risky business, but the stakes can be even higher when it comes to targeting nuclear sites. That SY intelligence officials have to gather as much information as possible before giving the green light for a strike. They need to know things like the layout of the facility, the type of nuclear materials stored there, and any potential environmental risks. On top of that, they have to consider the possible consequences of a strike, both in terms of loss of life and international fallout. In short, they need to know everything there is to know before making a decision. So next time you hear about a bunker-busting mission, remember that it's not just a military operation, it's a carefully planned and executed intelligence operation as well. The United States has developed many bunker busters throughout its history. In the 1970s, the Air Force began developing a new weapon, specifically designed to penetrate hardened underground targets like nuclear bunkers. The result was the Massive Ordnance Air Blasts Bomb, or MOAB, also known as the bunker buster. This massive weapon weighed over 23,000 pounds and was over 16 feet long, making it too large for most aircraft to carry. So the Air Force developed the AGM-1412 missile with a conventional warhead that could be carried by B-52 bombers. Then in the 1980s, the Air Force developed a new bunker buster called the Area Effect Ordnance, or AO. This weapon was smaller than the MOAB, but still packed a serious punch with a nuclear warhead. It was designed to destroy large underground facilities such as command centers or nuclear reactors. AOs were carried by F-117 stealth aircraft during the Gulf War, although they were never used in combat. Today, the United States has several types of bunker-busting bombs in its arsenal. The Joint Direct Attack Munition, or JDM, is a GPS-guided bomb that can be used against hardened targets. It was used extensively in the Iraq War to destroy bunkers and other structures. The Massive Ordnance Air Blast Bomb, or MAUP, is still in use today and is considered the most powerful conventional weapon in the U.S. arsenal. The Air Force is currently developing a new bunker buster called the Long Range Anti-Ship Missile, or LARM, with a nuclear warhead that can be launched from B-21 stealth bombers. This weapon is designed to destroy underground bunkers and other hardened targets deep within enemy territory. Israel also has bunker-busting bombs in its arsenal. During the 1981 war with Syria, Israel used French-built Super Étendard fighter jets to destroy an experimental nuclear reactor in Syria. More recently, Israel reportedly used bunker-busting bombs in the 2007 war with Hezbollah in Lebanon. And in 2018, Israel reportedly bombed a nuclear reactor in Syria. The bunker busters used by Israel are believed to be similar to the American-made JDAMs, or Joint Direct Attack munitions. These are precision-guided bombs that use satellite navigation to hit their targets accurately. Israel has modified some JDAMs to make them more effective against hardened targets. For example, some of these bunker-busting bombs have a top-over attack mode, which means that they fly above their target and detonate downward where the concrete roof is weakest. Other bunker-busting bombs have a standoff range of about 10 kilometers, meaning that the aircraft can release them from a safe distance and still destroy the target. There are several reasons why the US and Israel might choose to attack Iranian nuclear sites. One reason is to prevent Iran from developing nuclear weapons. Another reason is to slow down Iran's nuclear program, so that it would take years for Iran to develop weapons. Another reason is to destroy Iran's nuclear facilities and set back its nuclear program for years. But no matter the reason, the US and Israel must gather intel on Iranian nuclear sites before launching any strikes. This information is used to determine the best time and method for attacking the targets. US and Israeli intelligence agencies likely gather intel on Iranian nuclear sites through a variety of means, including satellites, drones, and spies on the ground. Once they have enough information, they can begin planning a strike. But the decision to launch a strike is not an easy one. There are many factors to consider, including the potential loss of life, the cost of the strike, and the possible response from Iran. If the US and Israel decide to move forward with a strike, they will likely face fierce resistance from Iran's military. Iran has one of the largest militaries in the Middle East, with over 600,000 active soldiers and a well-trained air force and navy. Additionally, Iran has a large stockpile of ballistic missiles and has tested nuclear warheads. Despite these challenges, the US and Israel may feel that the risk is worth taking, if it means preventing Iran from developing nuclear weapons. Attacking Iran's nuclear sites is a controversial topic, and there are valid arguments on both sides of the debate. Let's start with the case for attacking. Some argue that Iran's nuclear program is a serious threat to the region and the world, and that military action is necessary to prevent Iran from developing nuclear weapons. Proponents of an attack also argue that it would send a message to other countries with nuclear ambitions, like North Korea, that the international community is serious about preventing the spread of nuclear weapons. Furthermore, they argue that the US and its allies have the capability to strike Iran's nuclear sites with very low risk of escalation into a wider conflict. However, there are also strong arguments against attacking Iran's nuclear sites. Opponents of an attack argue that it would be a major act of aggression that would destabilize the region and potentially lead to a wider conflict. They also argue that it would galvanize public opinion in Iran against the US and its allies, making it more difficult to resolve the nuclear dispute diplomatically. Additionally, opponents of an attack argue that there are significant risks involved in striking Iran's nuclear sites. Iran has a large and well-trained military and could respond to an attack in ways that could cause significant loss of life. Ultimately, the decision of whether or not to attack Iran's nuclear sites is a complex one, with no easy answers. It involves weighing the potential benefits of preventing Iran from developing nuclear weapons against the risks of destabilizing the region and causing significant loss of life. Only those in positions of power can make the ultimate decision based on the best available intelligence and analysis. It's important to note that there are varying opinions within the US and Israeli governments about whether or not to attack Iran's nuclear sites. Some officials believe that military action is necessary to prevent Iran from developing nuclear weapons, while others believe that diplomacy is the best course of action. It's also worth considering the role of international organizations like the United Nations and the International Atomic Energy Agency in trying to resolve the Iranian nuclear dispute peacefully. But the decision to attack or not to attack Iran's nuclear sites is not solely based on military considerations. It also involves complex geopolitical calculations. This is an ongoing debate, and it will be interesting to see how it plays out in the coming years. When Major General Sam Greaves, commander of the 9th Air Expeditionary Task Force in Southwest Asia, got the order to strike al-Baghdadi and his terrorist network, he had only one chance to get it right. To make matters worse, Baghdadi's hideout was protected by thick concrete walls, making it virtually impenetrable to ordinary bombs. But Graves had a secret weapon up his sleeve, a bunker-busting bomb that could penetrate the concrete walls and deliver a powerful payload right to Baghdadi's doorstep. As the clock ticked, Graves and his team worked tirelessly to gather intelligence on the target, coordinate with other units, and ensure that the strike would be successful. They knew that failure was not an option. The safety of countless innocent people hung in the balance. With everything at stake, Major General Samuel Greaves, commander of the 9th Air Expeditionary Task Force in Southwest Asia, made the call. His F-15E Strike Eagle fighter jets dropped the bunker-busting bombs, penetrating the concrete walls of the target and sending a powerful message. But the story doesn't end there. To learn more about the aftermath of the strike and the impact it had on the fight against terrorism, keep watching. We reached out to retired U.S. Air Force Lieutenant Colonel and F-117 pilot, now a New York Times best-selling author. According to him, the success of the strike depended on a number of factors, including the type of bunker-busting bomb used, causing the intelligence gathered, and the effectiveness of the decoy and misinformation campaign. He further explained that the bunker busters would have been equipped with special equipment to penetrate the tough concrete and reach the target. After penetrating the bunker, the bomb would detonate, unleashing tremendous force and destroying the target. However, this former F-117 pilot shared a story of his own experience during the Kosovo War, when he flew a mission to destroy a heavily fortified command post deep within enemy territory. Despite facing challenges such as bad weather and enemy air defenses, he successfully completed the mission, highlighting the importance of precision and skill in such operations. His testimony underscores the complexity and danger of such missions and the bravery of those who carry them out. As the dust settled, the world held its breath, waiting for news of the strike's impact on al-Baghdadi and his network. But it wasn't just about the immediate outcome. The attack sent a clear message to terrorists around the globe. No matter how well hidden or fortified their hideouts were, they were not safe from the reach of the U.S. military and its advanced bunker-busting capabilities. For more insights into the world of espionage and intelligence gathering, stay tuned for more updates. The threat of bunker-busting bombs played a significant role in shaping Iran's nuclear talks with world powers. As the U.S. and its allies prepared to strike Iran's nuclear facilities, the Iranian government felt the pressure to come to the negotiating table. However, behind the scenes, the Iranian leadership was fiercely debating the terms of a potential deal. Ayatollah Khamenei, the supreme leader of Iran, wanted to ensure that Iran's nuclear program remained intact, and that any agreement did not compromise Iran's national security interests. Meanwhile, moderate Iranian leaders like Hassan Rouhani, the president at the time, were pushing for a diplomatic solution that would lift economic sanctions and restore Iran's position in the global economy. But as the talks dragged on, Iran's position grew more entrenched, and the threat of military action loomed larger. The Iranian leadership was determined to protect its nuclear program at all costs, even if it meant walking away from the negotiating table empty-handed. However, in a surprising turn of events, secret negotiations between Israel and Iran revealed that Israel was not willing to accept a deal that left Iran with any nuclear capabilities. Israel had already attacked Iran's nuclear facilities in 2018 and was prepared to do so again if necessary. The Iranian leadership was caught off guard by Israel's determination to prevent them from developing nuclear weapons and was forced to reconsider its position. In the end, Iran agreed to limit its nuclear program in exchange for the lifting of economic sanctions. But the deal was far from perfect and left many questions unanswered. As the U.S. and its allies continue to monitor Iran's nuclear activities, the true extent of the Iranian nuclear threat may never be fully revealed. To learn more about the Iranian nuclear program and the threat it poses to the Middle East, check out our other videos on the topic.